Welcome back to the channel. My name is David Osuji, your psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. Our topic of discussion today is how to be fearless in any situation, turning fear into your greatest ally. Imagine this. 70% of people say fear is the biggest reason they do not pursue their dreams. Have you ever felt your heart race before speaking up in a meeting? Or your stomach churn before confessing your feelings to someone that you love? Fear in those moments feels overwhelming, but have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what is this feeling of fear trying to tell me? Most people see fear as the enemy, something to overcome or silence. But here's the truth. Fear isn't just always a barrier. It is a signal. It can guide us towards what matters most. Or, if left unchecked, it can lead us astray. Today, I want to challenge how you think about fear. Is it always a roadblock stopping us from moving forward, or is it a compass pointing us towards what matters, what's important? The dual nature of fear. Fear has two faces, one that guides and one that hinders. It is easy to believe that fear always signals something bad, but let's be honest, fear doesn't always tell the truth. Sometimes, fear is a flashing signal from your subconscious telling you, hey, pay attention, this matters, this is important. But other times, it is a roadblock stemming from past experiences and our body's factory settings for survival whispering to you, don't risk it, this is unsafe. Think about it. You feel fear before speaking in public because your voice matters, your ideas matter. You want people to see and appreciate your message. On the other hand, you also feel fear when trying out something new because a part of you might be hung up on past experiences that did not go so well. The real question is, how do we tell the difference? See, fear for the most part is generated from the amygdala, your brain's alarm system designed to protect you. It reacts to threats, both real and perceived. And here's the thing, your amygdala cannot distinguish between stepping on stage and stepping off a cliff. Asking for a promotion might as well be a tiger in the room. Studies show that 80% of our fears are not even tied to real dangers. They are mental constructs. And because it is manufactured by our mind, fear isn't always accurate, but it is always loud. The key is not to silence it. Instead, it is to listen to it carefully and interpret what it is trying to say. Is this fear protecting me? Is it pushing me towards something important? Let me tell you about two artists, Emma and Sam. Emma pours her soul into her art, but she never shows it to anyone. She tells herself, it's not ready, it's not done yet, I just do it for myself, it's a hobby. One day, while speaking to her therapist about displaying her paintings at an art gallery, her therapist asked her, why does this scare you so much? The answer, when Emma finally admitted it to herself, was because her artwork mattered deeply to her. It was her identity, her passion, and she could not stand for people to not appreciate it the way she does. With encouragement from her therapist, Emma decided to take one step forward. She submitted a single piece of her artwork to a local gallery. After staring at that reply email for hours, she finally opened it and the words read, accepted. That one step led to opportunities she had never dreamt of. Her fear didn't vanish overnight, but it became her guide. Now, meet Sam. Sam was a writer who feared criticism. And notice I said was, because after publishing his first piece, one harsh review from a critic convinced him that he wasn't good enough. He stopped writing altogether, replaying that same narrative in his head over and over and over again about not being good enough, letting his fear paralyze him. Emma interpreted her fear as a guide, as a compass. Sam interpreted his as a stop sign, as a roadblock. Their stories play out every day in many of our lives today. Fear can either propel you or paralyze you. It is all about how you interpret it. Practical steps to navigate fear. 1. Reframe fear as curiosity. When you feel fear and it shows up in your life, ask yourself, what is it trying to teach me? Why does this scare me so much? What is at stake? Like Emma, you might find that it is tied to something deeply meaningful to you. Fear isn't the enemy, it is your identity, your care, your passion showing up. Be curious about it and use that curiosity to figure out what is it that matters to me in this scenario and what is it that I'm scared of. 2. Visualize the worst case scenario. Fear thrives on the unknown, on uncertainty. Picture the worst thing that could happen. Often, it is not as catastrophic as your mind suggests. And even then, take it a step further. Embrace that worst case scenario. Let's be honest, a lot of fear at the core of it ends up being about mortality or survival. So make your peace with the worst case scenario. This exercise will disempower the fear. Step 3. Name your fear. Fear feels bigger when it's vague. So give your fear a persona, like a pushy coach, a skeptical friend, the judge, the perfectionist, the critic. Sam's fear became the judge, and every time it spoke, it questioned his qualifications as a writer. The goal of giving it a persona is so that you can talk to it, challenge it, question the conclusions that your brain generates. In psychiatry, we call them automatic negative thoughts. Question them so that you can take control and change the narrative. Step 4. Start small. Fear thrives on overwhelm. Break the challenge into small steps. When Emma changed her perspective, she didn't try to conquer the whole art world. She only sent in one painting. So if public speaking terrifies you, don't start with a big speaking conference. You want to practice in front of a mirror or practice in front of a friend. Small victories build momentum, and they allow you to learn and to refine your craft along the way before you get to that big monumental event. And step 5, take action anyway. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about moving forward in spite of fear. Every time you take action, fear loses a little bit of its power over you, and you gain confidence in your abilities. Now, I want you to think of the fear that you faced recently. Was it guiding you or misleading you? Was it your compass or your roadblock? What might have happened if you leaned into it instead of pulling away? That feeling of fear is not your enemy. Listen to it, interpret what it's trying to tell you, and allow it to be your compass. In conclusion, fear is not your enemy. It is a complicated ally. Sometimes it is a compass pointing you towards something that matters. Other times it is a roadblock trying to keep you safe. The next time fear grips you, don't silence it. Don't run from it. Take a pause and listen. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? What is the opportunity on the other side? Is it pointing me towards growth or is it holding me back? Because on the other side of fear lies clarity, courage, growth, and the life that you're meant to live. Lean into it, question it, and when it feels right, take that courageous step forward. Fear isn't the end, it is the beginning of something meaningful. Fear is waiting to guide you. That's all I got for you today, folks. If you like the message, please like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, share with someone who you think will benefit from it. See you in the next video.